Have you ever wondered how many people have died over the entire course of history? And have you ever wondered what would happen if somehow all those people came back to life? Cause I have, and believe me, it ain't a pretty picture, honey. Hello and welcome back to Life's Biggest Questions, the channel that asks the fundamental questions of life. And occasionally we answer them too, if you're lucky. I'm Charlotte Dobre, and if this is your first time here, thanks for clicking on this video. Hopefully I'll earn your subscription by the end of our time together. Right now, the global population is 7.7 billion people. That's a lot of people. It's the most people that have ever been alive at one time in the history of the Earth. Modern humans have been around for a few 100,000 years. 200,000 if you want to get technical. But even if that's the case, 7.7 billion people is only 7% of all the people that have ever lived. That's right, 7%. If 7.7 billion people is only 7% and the rest of those people came back to life, well, suddenly there are 108 billion people living on planet Earth. There would be good parts about everyone that's ever lived coming back to life. We would finally get a chance to talk to great people who have lived, like Julius Caesar, Cleopatra, Elizabeth I, King George, Nefertiti, Jesus Christ. The person. I'm not saying Jesus Christ. And that's just to name a few. I definitely would love to ask Elizabeth I a few questions. Ever lost someone you love? Yeah, suddenly they're alive again. How wonderful would that be? I would give anything to be able to spend more time with my grandmother who recently passed. But at what cost? Would I be willing to plunge all the inhabitants of Earth into a state of starvation to get to spend more time with my grandmother? Scientists predict that our planet can support a maximum amount of 10 billion people, and we're on track to reach that amount of people by the year 2100. That's not that far away, but there's still more than 80 years ahead for us to figure out what the heck to do about our growing population and where we're gonna put everyone. Sure, there's plenty of land that's uninhabited on planet Earth. Throughout the course of history, most people lived in rural areas until very recently, and rural areas is where most of the resurrected would return to. There's plenty of space in Canada, in Antarctica, in Russia, but not everyone is prepared for a life in the blistering cold. Maybe we would start to build upwards. There are plans to build giant skyscrapers that go up into the stratosphere, but we are nowhere near capable of building even one tower that goes into space, let alone the thousands needed to house 108 billion people. Maybe our only solution would be to colonize the moon or Mars and move people to other worlds. But space travel is extremely expensive and it takes time. We would be lucky if we could manage to put a few thousand people in a colony on Mars, let alone several billion people. If 108 billion people lived on Earth, very few people would be allowed to have children. Forget a one-child policy like there is in China, there would be a no-child policy. Government officials would order the execution of any and all children who were born in secret, and that would undoubtedly cause anger among civilians. But what other choice would they have? Our planet can't sustain 108 billion people. The reason why scientists say that 10 billion is the max is because we just don't have enough food to feed that many people. With 7.7 billion people currently living, we've cultivated about a third of the world's arable land. You do the math. So what would happen? Well, 90% of that 108 billion people would likely live in unspeakable conditions and die from starvation. But not before there's a gigantic world war over resources. Sure, there'd be billions and billions of people that could be sent off to war, but that also means that there would be billions and billions of deaths as a result of that war. Eventually, all the people who couldn't find something to eat would eventually starve and die too, and the Earth's population would level out at 10 billion people. And even then, all the people that are left would still have a pretty crappy life. There would be way too many of us. Not enough work, not enough space, and not enough food to go around. Let's hope we figure out what's gonna happen to 10 billion people by the year 2100. But now I open up the question to you, dear subscribers. What do you think would happen if everyone came back to life? Why don't you tell me about a deceased historical figure you would love to talk to if you could? For now, I'm gonna wrap up this video with some comment features from my last video on this channel. What if we find aliens in Area 51? Ian said, oh my god, you know exactly what's gonna happen and I love it. Yes, Ian, I pride myself on my ability to predict the future. Ron C said, for some strange reason, I met up with Charlotte in my dreams last night and we talked about random stuff. I forgot the details, but it was a cool meetup. I just remembered she was Caucasian with dark brown and short curly hair. I am Caucasian, but I actually have red hair. Pretty close though. The Outsider said, chances are we'd find no intelligent alien life. Knowing our luck, we'd just free some sort of alien parasite that infects the entire planet and kills us all. Aren't you just a ray of sunshine? But I actually kind of agree with you. That is all for this episode of Life's Biggest Questions. If you enjoyed it, you will love the playlist that is currently flashing on your screen. And don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, and I'll see you in a future episode of Life's Biggest Questions.